respects. Let me tell you something, baby. There's a kind of magic that don't come from diamonds, makeup, or long texts. It comes from something simple, something old school, something real, and that's a hug. Now, respects. I ain't talking about one of those quick, half-hearted, good to see you type of hugs. I'm talking about the kind of hug that makes a man stop breathing for a second because it feels like home. Respects. The kind of hug that speaks without a word, that says, you're safe here. That's a hug with energy, power, and purpose. And if you do it right, respects, I'm telling you, it'll make him fall for you in ways he can't even explain. See, women have this divine energy, this ability to heal with their touch. But most don't even realize it. Respects. A hug isn't just physical, it's emotional, spiritual, even psychological. When you hug a man the right way, it's like you're whispering into his soul, I see you. I accept you. Got you. And in a world that constantly makes men feel like they have to be tough, like they can't break, like they can't feel, that kind of hug, that's rare. That's powerful. That's unforgettable. Respects. So today I'm going to break it down for you because there are 7 simple things that turn an ordinary hug into something magnetic, something he'll never forget. First thing, when you hug him, respects, breathe. I mean, really breathe. Don't rush it. Don't pat him on the back like you're saying goodbye to your boss. Just hold him and take a deep breath in, slow and calm. Because energy transfers through breath. Respects. When you exhale peace, he feels it. When you're calm, his spirit starts to mirror yours. That's why when a woman with peace in her heart hugs a man who's full of chaos, it's like time freezes for a second. Respects. He doesn't even know why he feels so grounded. He just knows he does. That's the power of your feminine calm. That's the kind of magic that don't need lipstick. It needs alignment. Second thing, respects. Hold your ground. Don't lean into him like you're surrendering. Stand tall, baby. Let him feel that you've got your own balance, that you're not losing yourself in him. When your hug says, I'm with you, respects, not beneath you, that's when he starts respecting you differently. Because a man can sense when a woman knows her worth. When you hug him from strength, not from need, you flip the whole script. Respects. You're no longer chasing validation, you're radiating value. Third thing, don't talk. Just be silent. I know, some of y'all love to fill the silence. But silence has power. Respects. When you hug him and say nothing, that's when he starts to feel everything. Because words sometimes ruin what energy can express perfectly. When you're quiet, your heart speaks. And trust me, respects. That message hits deeper than any speech. Fourth thing, let your hands talk. Don't squeeze him too tight. Don't hang on for dear life. Let your hands rest gently on his back or shoulders, just enough to say, respects, I'm here, not I need you. There's a difference between claiming and clinging. A woman who hugs like she owns herself is magnetic. A woman who hugs like she's afraid to lose him is exhausting. Respects. You got to know which one you are. Fifth thing, match his energy. Some men hug you like they're protecting you. Some hug like they're lost and need grounding. Some hug because they're testing the connection. Respects. You got to feel that energy and respond to it with balance. If he's fragile, soften your touch. If he's confident, meet him there. Don't overpower. Don't underplay. Flow with it. Respects. Because when you can mirror energy, that's when you create a bond that feels natural, not forced. Sixth thing, when you pull away, look him in the eyes for just a moment. Not too long, not too fast. Respects. That moment between a hug and a gaze, that's where intimacy is born. That's where a man realizes, damn, she's different. That moment makes him think about you long after you've walked away. Because energy lingers where words never could. And seventh thing, when you walk away, smile softly. Don't overdo it. Don't act like you just pulled a magic trick. Be subtle, graceful, mysterious. Respects. Leave him wondering. That's the real art of feminine magnetism. You don't chase, you don't beg, you don't explain, you just leave a presence behind. A man might not remember what you said, respects, but he'll never forget how you made him feel. See, a hug isn't about him. It's about you, about how aligned, peaceful, and powerful you are when you give it. Respects. A woman who's full of love for herself gives a different kind of hug. It's not desperate. It's not heavy. It's not asking for anything. It's giving from abundance. Respects. And that's why it draws people in, because true energy can't be faked. You can wear the prettiest dress, the nicest perfume, but if your energy ain't right, the hug will fall flat. But if you're at peace, respects, if you've healed your heart, if you've forgiven your past, that one hug will do what 1,000 words can't. Let me tell you something about men. A man may not always say it, but he craves peace. He craves safety. He craves a place where his armor can drop. And when a woman becomes that space, not through begging, not through drama, not through proving respects, but through energy, that man will be drawn to her like metal to a magnet. Not because she's perfect, but because she's peaceful. Because she knows who she is. Respects, because she doesn't chase validation. The right hug can fix what long talks couldn't. It can soften arguments. It can rebuild trust. It can reignite passion. Respects, because the body remembers what the mind forgets. When he's with you and you hug him with presence, it leaves a mark. When he walks away, that energy follows him. Respects. That's why men think about certain women long after the relationship ends. Because their presence didn't just touch his body. It touched his soul. So baby, stop worrying about what to text him. Respects, how to make him miss you, how to get him to notice you. Focus on your energy. Focus on how you show up. When you're grounded, peaceful, soft yet confident, you don't chase love, you attract it. Respects. You become that woman who doesn't need to be loud to be heard. You become that woman who walks into a room and changes the air. You become that woman whose hug feels like healing. The next time you hug him, respects. Don't just do it because you miss him. Do it because you want to remind him of what divine feminine energy feels like. Do it because you know your touch is sacred. Do it because you're not giving him your body. Respects. You're sharing your presence. And that's the difference between a girl and a goddess. Because when a man meets a woman who hugs with purpose, he starts craving her energy, not just her attention. Respects. He starts realizing that no other woman makes him feel that calm, that seen, that safe. And that's when you've won without ever playing the game. A hug is an exchange of hearts. Only works when your heart is full. So fill it first with peace, self-respect, joy, forgiveness, gratitude. Then when you hug, you heal. And baby, respects. There's no man alive who forgets the woman who healed him with silence, softness, and strength all wrapped in one. So go hug him, but do it with intention. Hug him, but don't lose yourself in him. Specs, hug him. But make sure you're giving from fullness, not emptiness, because a woman who knows her worth turns even the simplest hug into a spiritual experience. That's how you become unforgettable. Respects. That's how you make magic. That's how you teach him, without saying a single word, what real love feels like. A real hug isn't about arms, it's about energy. Respects. It's about the silent language that speaks everything he never says, because when you wrap your arms around him, you're not just holding a man, you're holding his soul, his fears, his walls, his hopes. Respects. His confusion, his need to feel safe. And when you do it with real intention, not desperation, not the hunger for validation, but the quiet strength of a woman who knows her value, something shifts deep in him. Respects. Something he can't explain, but he can't walk away from either. You see, men don't crave just beauty, they crave peace, and peace has a feeling. It lives in the way you breathe near him, the softness of your touch. Respects. The patience in your silence, the way you hold him without needing to fix him, change him, or make him speak. Because in that moment, the energy between you becomes a language more fluent than words. Respects. And he hears it even when you say nothing. When a woman hugs a man from her soul, she tells him, you're safe here. And for most men, safety isn't something they've ever known, not emotionally. Respects, not spiritually. He might have been strong all his life, maybe even cold, but deep down, he carries invisible scars that no one sees. And when he feels your warmth pressed against his armor, respects. For the first time in a long time, he starts to melt, not from desire, but from relief. Because what truly disarms a man isn't a woman's body, it's her calm. The way she doesn't rush him, doesn't chase him, respects, doesn't need him to be perfect to feel loved. That's what a hug becomes when it comes from a woman who knows who she is. It becomes medicine. You see, energy doesn't lie. Respects. You can't fake softness when your heart is in survival mode, and you can't offer peace when your soul is still begging for attention. That's why, before you hug him right, you must first hug yourself. respects. You must learn the warmth of your own arms, the sound of your own heartbeat, the power in your stillness, because the energy you give is the energy you are. A woman who hugs from wholeness makes a man feel found, respects. But a woman who hugs from emptiness makes him feel trapped. And men can feel that difference even when they don't understand it. They pull back, not because they don't care, because your energy speaks louder than your words. And your hug told him, I need you to fill me. Instead of, I already overflow. You want to make a man crave you. Learn to hug like a calm ocean, specs, not a storm. Because calm draws people and chaos makes them run. When you hug him, don't count the seconds, count the connection. Don't wonder if he's thinking about someone else, respects. Focus on the electricity between you, because attraction isn't built through questions, it's built through presence. A man can sense when a woman is thinking too much while she's in his arms, respects. He can feel when her mind is somewhere else, worrying, doubting, analyzing, but when she's simply there, breathing him in, soft, grounded, feminine, he feels something primal wake up inside him. It's not lust, respects, it's belonging. And that, darling, is what men chase. They don't chase beauty, they chase the emotion they feel around you. The peace you bring to their chaos, the silence that doesn't feel empty but safe, respects. When your energy is balanced, your hug says, I don't need you, I choose you. And that's the kind of power men don't know how to resist because it makes them feel both free and wanted, respects. Men fall for the feeling of home, not the performance of love. That's why some women have faces that could stop traffic, but hearts that make men keep walking, while others have simple beauty but magnetic energy, respects. And those are the women men never forget. Because they don't just touch you, they feel you. And when a man feels something rare, he starts to fear losing it, respects. The energy of your hug can make him rethink how he's been loving you. It can make him question his silence, his distance, his detachment. He might not even know why, but suddenly respects. He'll start missing the way you felt, not your words, not your face, but your energy. And that's when you know you've left a mark deeper than attraction. You've touched his soul. The truth is, respects. Energy is a mirror. When you hug with fear, you attract fear. When you hug with peace, you awaken peace. When you hug with gratitude, you remind him what love feels like before life complicated it. So, respects. When you hold him, don't hold from need, hold from knowing. Don't hug to keep him, hug to bless him. Don't squeeze him hoping he'll never leave. Just melt into him knowing that if he ever does, respects. Your love was still sacred because true feminine power isn't about control, it's about presence. The more you relax into your truth, the more magnetic you become. You see, most men don't run from women, respects. They run from pressure. They run from the feeling that they have to perform to be loved. But when a woman hugs him in silence and lets her energy say, you don't have to be anyone else, his heart starts to rest. Respects, that's what no text, no words, no strategy can do. Only energy can. When you hug him, your body might be still, but your energy is speaking poetry. It's saying, I see you. I understand you. I respect you. And I don't need to fix you. That's what he remembers when he's alone later. That's what plays in his mind when he tries to move on. Respects. You become his safe thought, his emotional anchor, his peace in a loud world. And that's why energy will always be stronger than effort. Because you can't make someone love you with logic, respects. You make them feel you with emotion. When you know how to channel your feminine energy through calmness, softness, and self-respect, even your silence becomes seductive. So, yes, a hug may look simple, respects, but it's spiritual. It's an exchange of everything you both carry inside. And the woman who knows that never has to chase, never has to beg, never has to prove her worth. She becomes unforgettable, respects, not because she tries, but because her energy whispers what her words never have to say. The male mind responds to the feminine energy that feels grounded, peaceful, emotionally intelligent, respects. You can be his comfort and still be his challenge. You can be his softness and still be his standard. When you hug him, teach him how love feels when it's real, not when it's desperate. Respects. Show him that a woman's heart can be both gentle and strong, that her silence can be louder than her words, and her presence can be the calm after every storm. Because when you master that energy, respects, you won't have to ask him to stay. He'll crave the peace that only your soul provides. And that's the magic of energy. That's the real language of love, the kind that doesn't fade with time, respects, doesn't break with distance, and doesn't beg to be understood. It's simply felt. When you pull your energy back, something shifts in the atmosphere. It's not about ignoring him. Respects. It's about reclaiming your power, your peace, your presence, the moment you stop chasing, the moment you stop explaining, the moment you stop trying to make him see your worth. Respects. That's the moment he finally starts to feel it, because people don't learn through words. They learn through absence. They don't value your presence when it's always available. They value it when it's missing. Respects. When the silence starts speaking louder than your texts ever did, when your energy stops showing up where it's not appreciated, the balance of power changes, not because you manipulated him, respects, but because you remembered who you are, and that remembrance is what makes you magnetic. When a woman detaches with grace, it's one of the most powerful energies in the world, respects, because she's not doing it out of spite. She's doing it out of self-respect. She's not trying to punish him. She's protecting her peace, and that difference changes everything. Respects, because he can sense when your silence is filled with bitterness, and he can sense when it's filled with confidence. One repels, the other attracts. One screams pain, the other whispers power. When you detach from peace, not pride, from love, not anger, from self-worth, not ego, he'll start to notice it, not immediately, but slowly in the quiet moments. When he checks his phone out of habit, respects. When he expects your message and it doesn't come. When he looks at his notifications and your name isn't there. When he scrolls through old pictures and realizes your laughter is missing. That's when it begins. Respects. That subtle ache that grows louder with time, that voice that says, what happened? Where did she go? Because it's not your body he misses, it's your energy. It's the way you made him feel safe, alive. Respects. Admired, and now that feeling is gone, and no other woman can replace it, because it wasn't what you did, it was who you were when you gave it. See, that's what most people don't understand. Respects. Detachment isn't about distance, it's about energy. It's about not feeding what drains you. It's about taking your love off autopilot and giving it direction again. When you detach, respects. You stop begging for validation. You stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You stop trying to prove your loyalty to someone who didn't earn it. Respects. And you start walking in your worth again, quietly, intentionally, gracefully. And that silence, that stillness, that peace, it drives him crazy, because men are wired to chase what they can't control. Respects. And when you stop giving him your emotional access, he feels it like withdrawal. Because you were his emotional supply, the steady stream of energy he didn't appreciate until it disappeared. Respects. He'll start thinking about you in moments he didn't expect, when he's laughing with friends but suddenly goes quiet, when he's driving home and that one song plays. Respects. When he sees another woman and realizes she doesn't have your depth, your energy, your light, he won't tell anyone, but inside he'll start to miss the peace you brought, the calm in your presence. Respects. The gentleness in your voice, because what men don't realize is that emotional peace is addictive. And when you learn how to detach and move with peace, that energy becomes something he can't forget. Respects. But here's the truth. Real detachment isn't cold. It's calm. It's not silence as punishment. It's silence as protection. It's not pretending you don't care. Respects. It's choosing not to suffer over what's no longer aligned. It's knowing that your heart deserves peace more than it deserves explanations. It's realizing that walking away doesn't make you weak. Respects what makes you wise. You can't control what a man does, but you can control how much access he has to your energy. And when you pull that energy back, when you stop over-giving, over-explaining, over-loving, respects, you become mysterious again. You become valuable again. You become the woman who glows differently, because her love is no longer for free. And when a woman glows like that, men feel it before they see it. Respects. They sense it in the way she walks, in the tone of her voice, in the way she carries herself. Because peace changes your aura. Peace makes you magnetic. Peace makes you untouchable. And that's what drives him crazy. Respects. Not your silence, but your serenity. He'll start to wonder who's making you smile. He'll start checking your stories. He'll start asking mutual friends how you've been. Because curiosity is born from mystery. It respects. And mystery is born from emotional control. When you detach, you're not abandoning love. You're upgrading it. You're moving from attachment to alignment, from chaos to calm, from pain to power, respects. Because the truth is, detachment doesn't mean you stop loving him. It means you start loving yourself more. It means you stop begging for the bare minimum and start expecting what matches your energy. Respects. It means you're no longer available for half love, half effort, half attention. And that shift, that invisible transformation is what makes him rethink everything. Because now, respects. You're not the same woman who used to cry over him. You're not the same woman who used to check his online status. You're not the same woman who used to explain why she deserves respect. You've evolved. Respects, and evolution is attractive. Healing is magnetic. Confidence is unforgettable. When he sees that glow, that peace, that quiet joy that doesn't need validation, he feels it. And that's when the tables turn. Respects. That's when he starts wondering, what if she's really gone? Respects. What if she's happier without me? Because nothing shakes a man more than realizing the woman who once begged to be understood now no longer explains herself. Respects. The woman who once waited for his message now doesn't check her phone. The woman who once needed his attention now commands it without effort. That's the art of detachment. It's not revenge. It's radiance. Respects. It's not silence from bitterness. It's silence from wisdom. It's not the absence of emotion. It's the mastery of it. You see, emotional control is the highest form of power. Respects. Not because you're hiding your feelings, but because you're choosing how to express them. When you stop reacting, you start attracting. When you stop chasing, you start choosing. When you stop begging, respects. You start becoming. He'll feel that. He'll feel it when you don't respond to his little tests, when you don't take the bait, when you don't fall for the old cycle. Respects. He'll feel it when your voice sounds lighter, when your laughter is real again, when your peace no longer includes him. He might act like he doesn't care. Respects. But that's the mask men wear when they lose control of what once belonged to them energetically. Because detachment confuses the ego. It doesn't know how to handle what it can't manipulate. Respects. It doesn't know how to process what it can't predict. But your detachment isn't about games. It's about growth. It's about becoming emotionally free. Respects. It's about no longer letting someone's inconsistency control your happiness. That's what true feminine power is. It's grace under pressure. It's silence with confidence. It's patience with purpose. Respects. And when you embody that, you no longer need to prove your worth to anyone. Your energy already says it all. That's when you start to notice the shift. He starts to reappear, not because he changed, because your energy did. Because the moment you stopped trying to be understood, you became unforgettable. The moment you stopped chasing him, he started chasing the feeling he once had with you. The peace, the warmth, the softness. And here's the most powerful part. By the time he realizes what he lost, you'll be too evolved to go back. Because detachment doesn't just make him miss you, respects. It makes you meet yourself again. It makes you remember your worth, your peace, your priorities. When you detach, you stop performing for love. You start attracting it. You stop fearing loss. Respects. You start embracing alignment. You stop controlling outcomes. You start trusting timing. And that shift, that internal calm, that quiet glow, it's what changes everything. Respects. You no longer need to prove you're enough because you finally know you are. You no longer chase attention because your presence already commands it. You no longer beg to be chosen. Respects. Because you've already chosen yourself. That's when your energy becomes divine, unshakable, magnetic. That's when he feels the loss not just in his mind, but in his soul. Respects. Because you've become the peace he can't replace, the calm he can't recreate, the energy he can't forget. You've become the lesson he didn't know he needed. Respects. You've become the standard that makes every other connection feel small. And it all started the day you chose detachment not as a game, but as growth. Because you didn't walk away to prove a point. Respects. You walked away to protect your peace. And that's what makes you unforgettable. ChatGPT said, when you hug a man with calmness in your heart and confidence in your soul, respects, something powerful happens that words can't express. Your energy flows into him like a quiet wave that washes over his chaos. Your stillness becomes his refuge. Your softness becomes his reminder of what peace feels like. Men walk through life wearing invisible armor built by pride, pain, and the pressure to be strong, respects. But when you hug him with warmth that doesn't beg or need, that armor starts to crack, not because you broke him, but because your energy whispered it's safe to breathe here. Woman's embrace can reach deeper than logic ever could, because the body remembers safety faster than the mind accepts it. And when your hug carries grace, composure, and silent confidence, it becomes unforgettable, respects. It becomes magnetic. It becomes the moment he replays in his mind when he's alone, when your arms wrap around him, but your energy says, I don't need to hold you to keep you. It awakens something deeper in him. It respects, because need is heavy, but presence is light. Men crave light even when they don't know it. They're drawn to the woman whose silence feels healing, whose touch feels like trust, and whose hug doesn't demand, respects. It invites. It's not about how tight you hold. It's about how aligned your heart is when you do. Because when your spirit is calm, your energy teaches him how peace feels, respects. It teaches him that love doesn't have to be chaos, that affection doesn't have to be control, that closeness can exist without fear of losing yourself, respects. And that lesson lingers long after you let go. He might not say it, but he feels it. He feels when a hug carries faith instead of fear. He feels when your presence tells him you're a woman who knows her worth, respects, who doesn't chase validation through affection but shares it as overflow. That energy drives him wild, not because of lust, but because of respect. Respects, because respect born from energy is stronger than attraction born from desire. When you hug him from a place of fullness, he senses stability. He senses that you're whole before him, respects. And that makes him want to rise to meet your energy. Your hug becomes a mirror, showing him the kind of peace he wants to earn, the kind of woman he doesn't want to lose. So when you hug him, respects. Don't think about how long or how tight. Think about what you're saying with your silence. Think about the energy you're giving off, because that's what he feels long after your arms leave his shoulders. Respects. That's what keeps echoing in his chest when he walks away. The power of a hug isn't in how you hold a man's body. It's in how you touch his spirit without saying a word. Respects. It's in how your stillness tells him that love doesn't have to fight to be felt. It just has to exist in truth. And when a man feels that truth, he never forgets it.